Have the high interest rates reduced the number of people borrowing money to buy homes this year versus last year? We'll take a look at the data coming up next. Hey, what's going on, friends? I always get the question about how have the high interest rates affected the number of homes being bought with financing versus with cash. And the assumption is, right, you would assume that there would be less people buying with financing because the interest rates are high and those buyers are sitting out and there'd be more cash buyers in the market. So we've been tracking this data point, and so here's the update up through August of this year. So if we're looking at January to August of 2022, there was 1,149 sales that were either cash or 1031 exchange, which is essentially cash, right? When you do a 1031 exchange, you sell a property somewhere else and then you buy another property with those funds to avoid capital gains tax. So it's another form of a cash sale. So I used that data point and added them together just to make it consistent. And then if you looked at how many were financed, there was 1,292. So overall, if we do the math, 47% of the sales on the Big Island were cash, and then the remaining 53% were financing. And this was somewhat at the tail end, right? So June, July is kind of when interest rates started to go up. So if there was going to be a best possible environment ever to buy with low interest rate financing, it was during this period, January to August of 2022, because anything that closed in August went into escrow June or early July, right? So it would have been still when those interest rates were relatively low. So if we skip forward and we compare 2023, January to August of 2023, we can see that there were 787 sales that were cash or 1031 exchange. And although that looks dramatically less than 2022, I'm going to kind of talk about that in a second here, there were 860 that were financed. So if we do the math on that, we add them together and divide 787 by the total, that's 47% cash, right? So the exact same number of people, proportion of people that were buying in 2022 are now buying in 2023 using financing. So there hasn't been a dramatic shift. It's exactly the same. It has been a obvious dramatic fall in the number of properties selling, right? If you look at just this example right here, we're talking about a 32% drop. So there was 32% less homes and condos sold in 2023 versus 2022, but that's pretty much consistent with the overall market. That's what we saw across the board. Land was a little bit higher at like 36% drop. So for the most part, the amount of people who are buying cash versus financing has not changed. There's a lot less people in the market, definitely, but there's a lot less cash buyers and there's a lot less financed buyers, and that proportion hasn't changed when you look at it. So if you're sitting on the fence, right, and waiting for something to happen in order to get back in the market and buy, there is the same proportion of people buying as there was before. And if for whatever reason interest rates drop and then these buyers who are waiting on the sidelines flood back into the market, it's going to make the market a lot more competitive. Prices may go up. It could get back into that multiple offer wild situation that we were in. So there is a lot, and I've been doing videos about this in the past about advantages of buying in the high interest rate market because buyer demand has been suppressed. And so it kind of can give you a better opportunity to maybe negotiate better terms, maybe negotiate a better offer price, but it's all things to think about in the grand scheme of things. But the assumption that there's not people borrowing money to buy homes right now is definitely not the case. It's exactly the same as it was in 2022 in the low inventory environment. So if you have any questions about this or anything else and you want to talk, you can always put them in the comments below or email me at dylan@buybigisland.com, and would always appreciate a like or subscribe on the video, and I'll see you guys next week. Aloha.